Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. As always, we're sponsored by HealthQuest. These guys are a great group of people, great organization. Give them a Google to find out where they are closest to you within Idaho and give them a try. They will help you. They'll help your family. Give them a holler. You know, I was thinking today, and I know I've thought a lot about mindset stuff in the last few months, but I think a lot of people coming out of the pandemic, you know, I think we all need it. You know, I think there's a lot of things that kind of negatively affected us, and a few of us that were positive thinkers, you know, maybe got down a little bit, or hey, maybe let some of our burdens within our businesses hit us a little bit harder than we should have. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's dig into that. How we can make some of these burdens into some opportunities going forward. You know, I was reminded of a story, and this is from Russell M. Nelson, and he's the current prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he was a world-renowned heart surgeon. Now he's, I believe, 98 years old. So this was way back when he was just an intern resident, going in, learning how to become a surgeon for a heart surgeon. And at the time, he had this head of surgery that, you know, just decided he wasn't a fan of him. I think he declined an alcoholic drink at the time, and he said, "Okay, well, if you're gonna decline this, I'm gonna make your life a living hell." And Russell M. Nelson decided, hey, whatever comes, I'm gonna stick by my guns. I'm gonna follow what I believe. And the head of surgery said, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the worst schedules. I'm gonna put you on the hardest surgeries, and this is gonna be kind of your punishment for turning me down. And Russell M. Nelson kind of talked about that experience. And he said the funny thing about that is that by being put on all these hard and strenuous surgeries, and yeah, they were hard, they were tough, and they were time consuming, but all those surgeries that were really tough and burdensome, that the head of surgery thought that he was putting them onto, which they were, ended up giving him so much experience and ended up making him such a better surgeon by doing that and having that experience, by having all that experience, by putting those major surgeries onto him. Not all the way onto him, of course, there are other doctors in the room performing those, but that burden became an opportunity. That burden gave him the strength that he needed to become this world-renowned heart surgeon. So that in lieu of the book I've also been reading, the David Goggins, Never Finished right now. You know, I've told you all that I've been reading a ton of books this year. Some fiction, some nonfiction. So I believe I'm halfway through this book. And man, if you've ever read anything from David Goggins or followed him on social media, I would tell you, go ahead and follow him. The language is a little rough, but I'll tell you, this guy is motivation on a stick. This guy, he will get you going. Not only was he a Navy SEAL, but at one point of his life, he was over 100 pounds overweight. He had no understanding what he wanted to do with his life. He came from a very broken home, abusive father. And if anyone had excuses not to make something of their lives, it was David Goggins. And he had some quotes here that I thought I'd share, you know, just because within his life, he just started thinking, okay, don't feel sorry for yourself, but get strategic about tackling the problems. When you adapt, you'll begin to see everything that comes your way as a stepping stone on your progression towards a higher plane. And it really talks about how humility is the antidote to self-pity, because this guy is he holds records for, these endurance runs. He's ran, these 100-mile races. He's run these 240-mile races, and he has, heart issues. He's got thyroid issues. And there's many times that his body was literally shutting down on him. And he's like, well, I've got to keep making it to this next stop for medication, or, my lungs are starting to fill up with liquid because, my thyroid's out of whack and I'm at altitude. But I've got to keep pushing it because I need to figure out where the limit of my body is. He's like, I'm not a masochist. I'm not trying to hurt my body or kill my body, but I really am trying to find the limits of my body. And that just made me think, how many times do we go through things in our lives and when we stop short before we learn the absolute lesson we need to learn? I know we all deal with things within our businesses and within our lives that we can turn us away. I know I've talked about last year. Last year was a trial for me. And there was times I'm like, all right, let's fold the cards. I'm done. I'm out. And that would have been easy. That would have been easy to say, I'm out. I'm done. It's been real. But I wouldn't have learned what I needed to learn. And what I needed to learn is, you need to be a better steward of your company. You need to be a better steward of the processes that are being operated within your company. You need to be a better steward of your books within your company. And because of that, I am that now. I not only look at all the processes within my company, I don't accept excuses of these processes when they fail. We look at why they failed, and we go through them and we try to fix them. We don't just kind of keep them failing because of one excuse. We fix them. Now, one other thing we can think about is when we're going forward, anything that you're going through or dealing with right now, it should be an opportunity to make you stronger, smarter, or more humble. If you aren't looking at any of the things that you're going through right now like this, you're doomed to repeat those problems that you're going through. Because we don't want to be fools, and by treating ourselves that, hey, nothing I'm going through right now is going to better me. It's just, I've just got to take pity on myself and push forward and grit to get through this. And there's nothing to learn. Yeah, that's going to be a miserable way to live, number one. And number two, you're not going to grow as an individual. You're not going to grow as a business leader, and you're not going to be pleasant to be around. So, Michael Jordan, who we all know, he talked a lot in the Last Dance. But one of his quotes was, "Why would I think about missing a shot I haven't even taken yet?" And it leads us to negative thinking and how we need to kill negative thinking and negative talk, because this is something. Sometimes we create these burdens and these obstacles in our lives that shouldn't even be there, because we wake up on a Monday morning and we think, oh my heck, it's a Monday. Gosh, it has to suck because it's a Monday. And I find myself doing that sometimes. I get done with the gym in the morning. I'm thinking, okay, this feels great. And then immediately I'm like, oh, okay, what do I have to do today? Oh, it's kind of a gloomy day. It's rainy today. Oh, gosh, and my mind can easily go there, where you really have to focus on saying, you know what, this is going to be an awesome day. I've got this lined up. This is how I'm going to kill this day. This is how I'm going to make it better. These are the things I'm going to get done this day. These are the processes I'm going to perfect or improve. And these are the people's lives I'm going to change today. These are the things you have to think about. So by doing these things, really can you take these burdens and turn them into opportunities. So opportunities out there, they're out there, guys and gals, but they are always disguised as trials or burdens and stepping stones. But it's how you approach them, how you deal with them is how you're going to rise up or bottom out when you get through with them. So I hope these things that I'm talking about aren't just flying off you. I know that as we go forward, we can really push ourselves to be obsessed with being happier, with being a better leader. One last thing I'll say with David Goggins, he had another quote at the very end. He said, "People who feel sorry for themselves are obsessed with their own problems and their own fate. Is that really much different than the greedy and egotistical people who want to feel better than everybody else?" So remember that when you want to have a pity party on yourself. Remember that when everything's down in the dumps and you're thinking, "Oh, woe is me." Turn that upside down and think, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I better myself from this? How can I make myself, my family, my company, whatever, better? Because I promise you, this is a growth opportunity for you. So take it as that and move forward and conquer it. As always, go out there, guys and gals, dominate your day, find opportunities to be happy, be grateful, and serve others. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Adios.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.